So I kind of goofed. I'm going to close my little packet, and I have to write on the front because I ran out of space already. So I'm going to go ahead and write my acid stuff on the front. Okay? Or actually, I'm going to write mine on my back, on the back of it. So I'm going to flip my page over. So naming acids. So we already said acids are the ones that have an H in the front. You can kind of rely on that, okay? When you go to name acids, you have two categories of acids that we're dealing with, okay? We have binary acids and we have ternary acids. Just like when we were studying how to make our little compounds, binary means how many elements? Two, exactly. So we have binary acids. Those consist of two elements. Okay? All right, so they're going to have two different types of elements, meaning, so this is your example, H2S, right? You don't worry about the subscript. The subscript came from the sulfur. We know that. But this has two different types of elements. We have a hydrogen, that's one. We have a sulfur, that's the other, right? So we have two. So this is a binary acid. When you go to name a binary acid, you have to start with the prefix hydro. Then you're going to be writing whatever that element is. And you're going to change the ending of it to ic. So hydro, something, ic. And then you're going to follow up with the word acid to communicate that. So using that, those three pieces, that's how you're gonna figure out if you have a binary acid. Okay? So if you have a list of acid names, if it starts with hydro, that's binary. If it doesn't have hydro, that's not binary. Okay? So this part is really gonna be your best friend. Look for hydro. All right. So for this one, we had H2S. So we're going to go ahead and start with hydro. So we have a sulfur as our second element, and I did not mean to have a gap there. They should be pushed together. I'm sorry. So we have sulfur. We're going to change it to be ic. So I'm going to cross out the UR, but just so you know, we do have to have the UR for this one. It's one of the weirdos. You guys remember when we had like phosphoric and phosphic and, you know, like where you don't chop off everything, but usually you do? Yeah, it's one of those. So you have sulfuric acid. Hydrosulfuric acid is the name for H2S. Okay, and this is the rule for it. All right, hydrosulfuric acid. So that's your first type of example. I give you the formula, you tell me the name. That's probably the easiest, in my opinion. The other type of question that you'll get with the binary acids is I will say, okay, you have hydronitric acid. What is the formula? All right, so first you recognize the fact that you have hydro. The hydro tells you this is a binary compound. It's a binary acid, meaning 2. So once you know that, you're going to automatically go ahead and replace the hydro with an H. Hydrogen is in group 1, so it has a +1 charge, or at least we're going to go ahead and be using that when we're forming our little formulas. So H with a +1. All right, so it ends with ic, but it's nitro. So what is that? What element does that kind of seem like? Nitrogen, exactly. So we're going to have nitrogen. What is the charge for nitrogen in group 15? Not +3, -3. Good. So we're going to have a +1 and a -3. We crisscross. We end up with the formula H3N. Hydronitric acid. So gone are the days where you are calling this trihydrogen nitride. You're not doing that anymore. You now know what an acid is. You are now to name them that way. Are we all clear? Perfect.